X-Men rumors. Okay, this is coming from Holyfield News. I'm here to explain the new X-Men rumor, and I'm ready to tell you why it's so freaking good. We've known for some time that they are developing an X-Men movie. I think it was codenamed The Mutants at one time, maybe when Victoria Alonso was there. I don't know. Regardless, we've known about like plans for an X-Men thing for some time. It's been at different stages of development over the past couple of years. We also know that within the last 6 months, Marvel has started taking actual pitches for the X-Men movie. Now, a lot of us are kind of like, okay, so is this then going to be after Secret Wars? Because there's another big rumor that's kind of looming heavy over everything else we talk about with Marvel. The rumor is that after Secret Wars, you will have a soft rebooted MCU. So to me, one of my biggest questions about X-Men, about, the MCU X-Men was like, okay, so if we're playing with all the Fox characters in Secret Wars, which seems to be the case. I mean, we just watched the Deadpool Wolverine trailer. It's lit. Ton of Fox X-Men show up in that trailer. Fantastic stuff. How can you want to build up the Fox X-Men for Secret Wars and have Secret Wars be with mostly Fox X-Men and also be developing the X-Men in the MCU? Right? So I've always thought, like, that's weird. Like, how does that fit together? I don't know. Well, I think we now have the answer in the form of this new rumor. And the rumor is that the X-Men movie, the one they are developing right now, the MCU X-Men movie that we will go see in theaters probably within the next 2 to 3 years. They're going to streamline this shit. They're going quick on it, okay? That movie is going to be a Fox X-Men movie, essentially with a huge asterisk next to it. Allow me to explain. The current rumor is that the X-Men movie will be taking place in the universe that Monica Rambeau ends up in at the end of the Marvels. That universe, I've had it described to me as the Fox X-Men universe, a Fox X-Men universe, a branch of a Fox X-Men universe. And so that's the basis of the rumor. That movie will be in that universe with X-Men and some Avengers or some other Marvel heroes that work with the X-Men, okay? Because we got Binary, which was, Captain Marvel. Maybe there'll be some other heroes, villains, or whatever in that universe, okay? That universe and those X-Men, they have already had encounters with Kang. That's an important part of the story as well. So the X-Men movie that we're going to see in the next couple of years, it'll take place after Avengers 5, but before Avengers 6. And it will be those X-Men on that world with both Binary and I think they're going to call her Spectrum or Photon, or maybe they'll just call her Monica, and then her mother with both of the bands. So in that universe, they already have had encounters with Kang. They understand what the Bangles are. They understand incursions. They understand a lot. So in the post-credit scene of The Marvels, we get like a small insight into what that X-Men universe is. We can see Kelsey Grammer as Beast. He looks like he does in the animated series. With the white coat. I think the CGI was actually pretty lit. I thought it was cool. We also know Charles exists in that universe because they're talking about Charles in that post-credit scene. Why, from a story perspective, does this excite me? Like, why do I think this is actually pretty cool? Well, number one, it solves the first problem I was talking to you guys about, which was like, how do you develop new X-Men while trying to sort of redeem old X-Men and use old X-Men in Secret Wars? And I think the mentality from Feige is he's treating all of the X-Men that are currently in the multiverse as essentially offshoots of the Fox X-Men stuff or stuff that has come before. So if you think about it, you see Professor X in Multiverse of Madness. He looks like the 90s animated Chuck. You know what I mean? Yellow chair and all. We see Beast in the post-credit scene of the Marvels. He looks like the traditional animated series version of Beast. We see Logan in the Deadpool Wolverine trailer. He looks like their traditional Wolverine from the 90s show. We've also heard that in Deadpool 3, it's kind of going to be commented on, and probably from the perspective of the TVA, that the way time travel and continuity was so whimsical under Fox is going to be used as a plot device, not as a plot hole. So I think the what he's trying to do, what Feige's trying to do, is sort of established to us, the audience, that in most of the universes where the X-Men are a thing, they are pretty familiar to what you just know from the OG X-Men. Even things like First Class, even things like X3, these are all sort of spin-offs of, generally speaking, what the X-Men are like, okay? So I like that because what that allows is sort of like a through line or development through not only Deadpool and Wolverine into the X-Men movie itself, possibly into Avengers 5, because another big rumor out there is that Wolverine and Deadpool are being considered, whatever that means, for Avengers 5. So that's another reason why I think that portal at the end of the most recent trailer, that's going to 616, and Wolverine and Deadpool will be coming in to Avengers 5. They may well play the role similar to Hulk in Infinity War, where like Hulk comes in and has like all this knowledge of Thanos and stuff due to what happened with him and the Asgardians and all that, right? So he's sort of the catalyst for them finding out about it and getting prepared. I think it's very possible that Deadpool and Wolverine will be that. But here's the other reason why this shit is like I'm seeing the vision. And I'm like, let's fucking go. That's cool. Because what that would mean is in Avengers 5, you would get the 616 Avengers with some X-Men learning about the collapsing of the multiverse. Then in X-Men, the movie, which would come out after that, you would have an Avenger, or technically not an Avenger, but a hero, right, in Monica, in an X-Men universe. Now, that would allow them to potentially do a multiversal version of Avengers vs. X-Men. And we've talked about this, yo. We've talked about this. There's been a lot of buzz, a lot of rumors that could be coming. I think for many of us, we were like, but how, right? Like, cool idea, but how? How does that work? This is the way it works. You could have the first one be Avengers 5. Then you go into that X-Men movie. It could literally be Avengers vs. X-Men. And you could make it so this universe, the one in the end of the Marvels, the one where the X-Men movie is going to be set in, you could have that be one of the last universes in the multiverse that is colliding with 616. That would mirror what happens in Jonathan Hickman's story right before we get into Secret Wars. Essentially, the last two universes in the multiverse that collided were the Ultimates universe, the original one, 1610, and 616. That happened in Marvel Comics. And so you could see them sort of adapting that, taking some Avengers vs. X-Men stuff, making that work for the Avengers movie. That shit would be awesome. I would love it so fucking much because it would just be a way for us to kind of like have our cake and eat it too. Like we kind of just jump ahead to like the X-Men and the Avengers like fighting. The only bad part about that would be like it's kind of the weaker class of Avengers, like real talk. Like it's like Sam and you know all that. They're like a little bit weaker. But I mean, you get Thor back there, you get Doc Strange back there. All of a sudden we're cooking. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they just bring RDJ in. Fuck it, bro. You're doing Avengers versus X-Men. If you don't bring RDJ back for that, you're foolish as fuck. Like that, you gotta bring Robert Downey back for that shit, man. And it could be a perfect precursor into Secret Wars and all that, okay? Anyway, another reason that I really like this is it's kind of like a blank slate. Like this Avengers or this X-Men universe. We know there's Beast, we know there's Binary, we know there's Charles, and we know they have Maria or Monica. That's it. I also think that this Hugh Jackman could be from there as well, like that Wolverine could be there, but that's all we know. What this allows Feige to do is just like he asked everybody to come back for Deadpool Wolverine, he now has the ability to pick and choose and see who's up for it and use all the Fox characters. Any Fox X-Men that wants to sign a big deal and be a part of the X-Men movie and Secret Wars, maybe they're already in Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, if you signed up for it, all of a sudden you're in the Marvel system and you're like, yo, this shit was actually super fun. I didn't really have to work too hard and it was awesome. Yeah, I think you might sign up. So all of a sudden, the Fox X-Men, which we were like, okay, well, we're going to get a little taste of them in Deadpool Wolverine. Then they're in Secret Wars, but like they can't be a huge part of Secret Wars because Secret Wars has so much going on. Like, come on, I want the Fox X-Men. I want to spend time with them. This is how we get to do that. This is how we get to do that. And it's a way for them to bring in a bunch of Fox X-Men, establish an actual like almost X-Men 97-esque version of the X-Men, in a different universe, and we get to spend time with them in a full-ass movie where they're maybe fighting against the Avengers via the multiverse, and then a lot of them would end up in Battleworld. Okay, now, another reason this is kind of cool is it could allow Feige and the actors to kind of see how the audience responds, because the other big rumor is we're going to get a soft reboot after Secret Wars, right? So if we get a soft reboot after Secret Wars, maybe we keep some of the Fox X-Men. Maybe they are the X-Men in that universe, and for Secret Wars, all of a sudden we love them. They are loving it. It allows them to maybe carry over into the soft reboot. However, it also allows Marvel the opportunity to bring in whoever they want for the soft reboot. Maybe it doesn't click. Maybe the actor doesn't want to sign on for more. Okay, no problem. We just recast. You know what I mean? So I think it solves a lot of problems. Last thing I'll say on this, and I think it's just really cool, this also can help do some heavy lifting for Kang. Yeah, I said it. Whether or not they're going to stick with Kang or they're bringing in, King Thanos, some of these other people, the fact that this group of X-Men has already had contact with Kang can be a huge piece of storytelling that is handled not in Avengers 5, not in Avengers 6, but can help us to understand how the multiverse has been dealing with either Kang or the Council of Kangs. And you do it with characters that people are going to be excited about. No offense to the 616 Avengers currently, but they are weak sauce. The Fox X-Men, especially bringing them back, putting them in the yellow and blue, that shit is hype. So it allows us a hyped up movie with hyped up characters that we care about to push more of the Kang story forward. Maybe even kind of just get Kang out of the way. There's all kinds of different ways they could do this, but it essentially takes Secret Wars, which was going to be one movie, and it kind of spreads some of those beats over 3 movies. Avengers 5, X-Men, which is probably Avengers vs. X-Men, Multiversal, and then Secret Wars. So they get more time, because a lot of the rumors we heard, and this was last year, it was early last year. This was before Quantum Mania, because I remember the Reddit got shut down. Do you guys remember this? When the big Marvel Studios spoilers subreddit got shut down? One of the big things they were talking about was how, from Marvel's perspective, they're worried about Secret Wars because they have so much they want to do. They don't know how to do it in just one movie. So they were thinking about making it 2 movies. They were thinking about making it a whole phase where for a year or so, maybe multiple projects, all that would exist would be Battleworld. So you'd start to have other Battleworld-esque projects technically lining up with Secret Wars, but not dealing with the main player. This X-Men movie feels like that. It feels like the solution for a lot of those problems that they reportedly had behind the scenes. So I mean, that shit is so hype. You know what I mean? I personally think this is a brilliant move for the X-Men. We have to treat it as a rumor for now. There's not a lot of people confirming it or talking about it, potentially because it's real and it's a super big deal. I would love for this to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Can you fucking imagine, bro? Can you imagine if they not only give us titles for Avengers 5 and 6, but then they also say, oh yeah, by the way, Avengers versus X-Men in the middle of them? You're just, oh my God, bro. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. So I think it's lit, dude. I think it's lit and I think it's happening. I would love to know what you think, chat. What do you think?